Hi there, and welcome to InsideTracks.co.uk, the website and also the YouTube channel that tries to help you to trade smarter. Please subscribe if you like the channel and give us a like or comment, and I'll read them all and try and take them into account and get better. What we're going to look at today is how to prepare to win Betfair trading. And what I mean by that is, do you and what is your routine? What is your routine? One Benjamin Franklin, President of the United States, said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And that's true in all walks of life, but particularly true about Betfair trading. If you just go into Betfair trading and say, okay, fine, switch it on, go to the next race and let's get going, then you are going to fail at this particular trading activity, because you will have not prepared yourself, not got yourself information that you desperately need in order to have the edge over the rest of the market. You will be a mug, you will be a punter. So what I'm going to do today is to go through my routine so that you can see what I do in order to prepare for a trading day. So normally I would go into At the Races. That's my favorite channel. There are obviously other channels that you can go into. They all give a reasonably decent amount of information. It's just that I've always done At the Races and I know my way around At the Races. But you know, I do actually dip into others because they have information that At the Races doesn't have easily to hand. And I'm not saying that you only have to go to At the Races. You can obviously use other channels. But I find At the Races quite useful because I've always used it and I understand it well. So I go into At the Races probably the night before, and you can go in the night before and you can have a look at the following day's racing. How I generally do it is I go into the home page, I go into Get Started. You'll see the first 5 fixtures coming up for the following day. You'll also see that you can go, for instance, into Beverley. You'll see all the racings, when it starts, when it finishes, and then you can view all races at Beverley. Just click on that particular button. Hopefully it'll do it for us quickly. And it's very slow at the moment, but then you see all the races with the time form ratings beside them and some kind of a commentary on them. Now, obviously, when I go into the racing, I'm looking for certain things in looking at any individual meeting. For a start, I am looking at what the weather forecast is going to be like, to see whether the going is going to change, because we have a going of good to firm. The stalls are on the inside, so I know that's normal for Beverley. There's no change in the stalls. I see the forecast, which is sunny spells. That's fine. No rainfall is predicted, and it's a fairly light breeze, so we're not going to expect a great deal of drying out either. So that's fine. I can trust then the going, and I've got a video on about when it starts to rain very heavily, when rain is forecast and has been raining for a while. You'll see major changes in the going. And that is another video I do, which says that there are opportunities there, but also times when you say, okay, fair enough. If the going changes a lot, then you're not going to be betting today. So I go through the races and what are the card, and what I'm looking for here is who's there. So Clifford Lee's there, David Allen's there. So these are the normal northern jockeys that you'd expect at the races. Carl Burke has a good record at Beverley. Easterby's good there too. So you're looking at who's generally around in this particular race. You can see that Easterby's got 1, 2, 3 runners. He's got his favourite jockey on this one. So you would expect that to be his first choice, even though it looks like Duran Fenterman's probably chosen chosen the first choice for Easterby. So you're just looking for little clues. Joe Fanning's there. That's good. He's normally quite good at Beverley, particularly at the front running bits. Not a lot of runners, which isn't great news for traders. It's not great to have only a few runners. You can make money, but when you get down to 2 and 3 people, 2 and 3 horses, it's not great stuff. Because often races are not run to form, or because you get the shenanigans of tactics coming in. See that Haggis has got something here. That's quite interesting. He's not in form at the moment, Haggis. He's got a 3.13% strike rate over the last 14 days, which is extraordinarily low for him. But Danny Tudhope is obviously up there at the top of the jockey's table and is riding exceptionally well at the moment. So it's nice and interesting. If Haggis was doing better, I'd be very interested in that particular horse and be doing a bit more research on whether that should be a nap that I should be using or following as a back to lay or whatever. So I've looked through. I see that the going's going to be good to firm. I sometimes look at these apprentice races because there are some better apprentices, like the ones which have got more experience. Are they on the best horses? Charlie Hill's good trainer coming up from the south. Yeah, it's an interesting one. That's Tyler Saunders, good apprentice. So these are the sort of things I'm looking for to do a bit more research on. So I go through each of the meetings, looking at the different horses. So back in here, let's have a look at Sandown, or the races at Sandown. We'll do that one quickly, and we'll see that Oisin Murphy's there, as you'd expect. He could have been at Yarmouth, but he's there. Who else is down here? Tory's down here. That's interesting. Ryan Moore's down there. Buick's down there. Yeah, so there's some good racing. What sort of prize money for 7,000? So it's an okay day's racing. 22,000 plus one listed. That's an interesting. That's probably what Moore's doing there. He's only after the money, as far as I'm concerned, at the moment. But anyway, there you go. Some reasonably good prospects. This one, quite. He was second in the Celebration Mile, so Goodwood. So that's not bad form. So it's just looking for what to go for. You're also looking at the meetings. So I'm going to show you why I'm looking at the different meetings. So the different meetings today, or now we are actually the 18th from today. So I'm looking at it today. Beverley, Sandown, and Yarmouth. Those are the 3 flat race meetings that I'm looking at. So what's my next step? Well, my next step is to go into some of the tools that I have. You can find this tool on a video or on the website. It's basically shows you an overview of how front runners do at the different courses over the different distances. So here's different distances, here's different courses. Now we have Beverley. So we see actually at Beverley, front runners do extremely well in 5 furlong races and 7 furlong races. Okay, Beverley. We have Yarmouth. Yarmouth is not a great race course. You would probably guess that if you saw a front runner over 2 miles or 1 mile 6 at Yarmouth, it's probably not going to win. So front runners don't do really very well at Yarmouth. And the final one is Sandown. Sandown, we're seeing that over 1 mile 2. There's a reasonably good chance that a front runner over 1 mile 2 will have a good chance. So if you see a decent front runner at Sandown over 1 mile 2, that's probably not bad to go for a back to lay or a win bet. So that's what I'm looking for: back to lays mainly, and a win bets. So now I'm saying, okay, my research is coming into, if I'm doing my back to lay research, I'm going to be looking at Beverley's 5 furlongs and 7 furlong races, and probably Sandown's 1 mile 2 furlongs to see who's the front runners. So let's have a quick look at what's going on there. So I've had a look at Beverley, and there isn't much there. So I then went off to Sandown and basically looked at for 1 mile 2 furlong races here. and I'm looking for a horse that wants to be prominent or front run. And I've looked at the 3 races that are there, all handicaps, which is what I'm looking for. I prefer handicaps because that means that the front running will be an advantage, and it's not just that that we're betting in a stakes race where there may be a much better horse. So we're looking for a handicap where we can see the front runner. So I've chosen the 505 because that is where I have found a horse which I quite fancy the look of in terms of the overall look of the race. So we're in a 1 mile 2 furlong. We're looking for a front runner. We come into the pace part of at the races, which tells you what they expect of each horse. And here we see there's 2 possible front runners, and I've looked into the form. So I go into scene setter, and I see that here I would go into scene setter, and I look at how track leaders pushed along 4 furlongs out. So it likes to be up front, led until 2 furlongs out. So it's led after 1 furlong. It's led after 1 furlong, remain prominent. So this is a horse that I believe can be there or thereabouts, certainly prominent, probably going to lead. Andrea Azzini, very good jockey, particularly at this course, he's good, and Marco Botti, a good trainer. So quite fancy that, to get out in front and to be leading coming off the bend and going for the finish. I see that Delicate Kiss is favourite at 11-4. Don't like that combination at all. Liam Jones, not a fan. Bridger, not a fan. Delicate Kiss, why would you be a fan? Hasn't won yet. Well, certainly not the last 6 races. Yes, it may well have shown some good form, but to be honest with you, 11-4 favourite on that form with those connections. Really not a fan. I think that should be probably laid. Dunlop and Murphy should be taken into account. Arctic Spirit, therefore, should be taken into account. It's just 9-1. Not quite sure why it's so long. Bishop, I like Bishop. He's better than average. And Candy, he may well give the selection a run for his money. Run for her money, actually. It's fillies. These are all fillies. And I don't see much else, to be frank. Jason Watson, I like Jason Watson. Where's he? Colony Queen. That's our friend Kirby, but I don't like Golling, sorry. So I don't like Golling. So Kirby's good jockey though, but he's going to have to come from behind. So yeah, this is one where I would really start saying, okay, look a bit more into it. Check out the form scan, for instance. Is there any particular form between them? Not really. These are 3-year-olds plus, so they haven't met each other very often. So you look at the form scan, those check, look at the market movement in the morning, see if there's anything strange going on. Shifting gold seems to be being backed. So that gives you some idea. Azzini's being backed. So I've got a horse here, could be somewhere around about 11-1, that I could want to give a go at. So this is the kind of research you want to do. I've got a back to lay candidate there that I can do a bit more research on, but I quite like the look of that. I like the look of Azzini. I like the look of Botti in terms of front running. He looks like he's going to go and front run. He's got a little bit of money coming for him. He's got a lot of potential to shorten in the run. So there you go. I've started off with one candidate. My next port of call is to our good friend Hugh Taylor. As you know, I've done a video on Hugh Taylor, and I'll show you why it's an interesting little piece that you can make a bit of money on for virtually nothing. So I go to Hugh. His record, by the way, Hugh scored with 9-1 winner, Powerful Breeze recently. That was back on Thursday last week. So he hasn't had a winner since then, and he's got about 12 tips. So I always laugh because he says 9 to 1, but the damn thing came in at about 4 to 1. So yeah, he does his tips. He did his tip this morning, updated on Twitter at 9:12. If you're around about that time, he's somewhere between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. I'm now 10:42, but I've been through this this morning already. He gives you the reasons why he thinks that this is going to win. He tells you what odds, but by the way, you never get those odds. And I'll show you why you don't. So this is the reason why you don't get the 9 to 1 odds that he tends to tell you should get, because there was where he sends it out about 9:12. The price was around about 9.2 to 9.4, thereabouts. Guess what? Someone around about 9:12 put a bet on of 156 quid at 9.2. Another 61 quid at 9s, and then a few quid comes on through the process. So he issues his tweet here, and by the time you have got into your Betfair account, tried to place any money on it, it's come down to 6.6, 6.8. I go into my Betfair account and I have put on a tenner, not a lot really, but just tenner, just at 7.4 as we see it coming out. And I expect these odds, as is usual for a, well, we can already see it. I made 22p already, and I'll make a bit more money out of this as we go along. He's already out to 7.6. We'll go out to 7.8. He'll, in fact, my expectation is it will come back out to about 9. I'll make 4 or 5 quid. Sometimes I put a bit more on, sometimes put a bit less on, particularly if the odds that he's going for are a lot shorter. Sometimes our friend, he does sort of 2 to 1 shots that come into 6 to 4 or 5 to 4, and so I lump a bit more on them to make a bit of money. So I'll probably make a fiver out of him today, just knowing that that drop there is based on what, 150, about 300 quid's worth, 400 quid's worth maybe. It's about 400 quid's worth of money. I sent it down nearly 2 points, and so that will go back out, because the real price that this all should be is somewhere around about 9.2. So if it goes back up to 9.2, I'll make a few quid down there. All right, that's a little tip for you, how to make money out of Hugh Taylor's tips. Allow the mugs who want to put 300 and 400 quid on it and send the price down to 6.8, and try and get in around about 7.2. I got in 7.4. It's a bit late this morning, but 7.4 still give me maybe 3, 4, 5 quid profit on Hugh. So there you go. How to make a few quid, literally before the off, from someone tipping and other people deciding to follow his tip and creating a false drop in the price, because Hugh is not that successful as a tipster. If you took all of his tips at the prices, these prices, yeah, of course he makes a bit of money, but no one ever gets those prices. We're all all lots of mugs are getting 11 to 2 or 5 to 1. And certainly if you look at the starting prices of all of his winners, they're always significantly below the price that he recommends. So as a tipster, I suppose I've got sort of 2 things about Hugh. One, he obviously does tip them at 9 to 1, they're there, but the drop in price means no one ever gets 9 to 1, and if they do win, they always win at much lower odds. So kind of I just use it. I don't have a particular opinion about him. I think he's probably quite good, and he does quite a good analysis, and the analysis he does isn't too bad. I don't find him winning very often, and when he does win, he always tells you the higher price, which no one ever gets. So he always looks as if he's returning, his return on investment is 1.55, but you try and do that, never in a million years. So part of my routine is to look at his tips. He often does 2 or even 3. You can get his tips by, you know, I'm not going to do him down. You go to his Twitter account, follow him, and you'll see his tips coming out. He'll tell you it's 5 minutes till it goes up online. But even with that warning, you'll never get in there at the you know, 9.2 or 10 or whatever we've showed you just now. You'll always be behind the curve, because I've tried, and you know, I'm quite quick at it, and I can't get in there. Okay, so that's you. So the next part of my routine is to look for what I call false favourites, or horses that are, in my opinion, far too low for the chances, or for what I think their chances are. And one of the resources I use is Inform Racing UK, and you can go there. You can sign up for their newsletter. You don't have to sign up for their paid-for service, because they send out, or you can get access to 1 race meeting a day, which is fine for me. I just need 1 race meeting a day. So I've today, the free of charge race meeting you get is Yarmouth. I then go through Yarmouth and I look for handicaps. I only go for handicaps because that gives enough information for the Inform Racing stats to work. And I'm not going to go through it. If you go there, you'll get it explained to you. But basically, I look for horses that neither appear in the red on Master or Master and Average put together. And so what we're seeing here is that, just one moment, Master and Average, and we can see here that Kuzam is sitting there at 151, which is quite low compared to the others, only 1 below it. And yet that horse is 4-1. Main reason for that is it's a Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum horse. So we'll just pop to the main At the Races web chart. So here we are at the races, the 345, where we see Kuzam, and it's we go Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum. He's got 2 in the race. He's got Montathalm. He's got Montathalm in the race as well. Jim Crowley is the jockey for the owner. He's chosen to ride that one. A worry would be Haggis's current form, but in this situation, you would sit and say, okay, we've got a horse here where the jockey who has the choice has gone for one and not the other. And at 7-2, I don't think he's got a 7-2 or 130s chance. So therefore, what we're saying is this horse is one that we can look at and say is far too short in price, and we can lay that. So if you look at the newsletter, I put up Kuzam as one to look to lay, and at that kind of price, I think it will certainly lengthen in running. And even though we see that it's been tipped at the races, it's not by time form. So my feeling is that jockey's chosen not to ride for the owner. The owner's first colours are on this horse as well, so the owners think this horse is a better one. So if the owner and jockey think that this fella is going to beat this fella, then I think we should be saying that the difference in price between them is not 1 point. It should be more than that. So so therefore that is a horse that I would be looking to lay. Okay, so what I've shown you today is that my routine of how to prepare to win. So that is to go in and to have a look at the meetings, see if there's any kind of major changes to the weather, see where the racing is liable to be of a good quality, who's racing where. I'm looking for jockeys who are in strange places. I'm looking for trainers who are sending horses to courses that they don't normally. I'm looking for anomalies. I'm looking for things that are of interest, and then I'll investigate those further and maybe come up with a decent nap as a result. Then I'm looking at courses that have biases towards front runners, and I will do that. I haven't shown you TrackFacts. Please look at TrackFacts on the website. TrackFacts gives you all sorts of interesting information about the different tracks. You can go in there and look at Beverly, look at Sandown, and look at Yarmouth. If you were looking today, there's a whole bit on each about draw bias and pace and so on, what kind of track it is, undulating, whether it favors big galloping types or small nippy types, and whereabouts you should expect your horse to be. For instance, at Catterick, it should be at the front, etc. Chester about the draw, so on and so forth. So you'll find lots of information on TrackFacts about tracks. So I look at that as well. As you saw, I look at the front runners grid to look at where front runners would be. Then I look at the different races that match that grid and look for a likely candidate, which we found there with Andrea Azzini and Botti. We also then can go and have a quick look at our friend Hugh, see what he's tipping up, and you should be doing that between 9 and 10 so that you can get on and lay the damn thing at as lower odds as you can. 3 possible outcomes from Hugh's tips are that the horse stays at a low price, in which case you don't win anything, you basically cash out before the off. And if you backed it at say 7.8 and it stays at 7.8, then just cash out. But generally speaking, his horses drift back up to somewhere close to the price before the off, and you can gain 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 20 quid without doing anything. So again, look at the video that I've done on that. And we can also go and look for false favourites or horses that are clearly being backed by people who are just not really using all the information at hand. There's resources there for you to use, which I've shown you. You pick out your horse, which clearly, for instance, Inform's telling you that the ratings aren't good for a particular horse, and you look at that horse and you see, well, he's got the owner's got 2 in it, and then you see that the colours of the first colours are on one horse and the jockey's got on that horse. So you're really saying actually to be only 1 point difference between the 2 horses, it's far too low. Therefore, that's a horse to look to lay and make some money before the off or in running. So we've now prepared ourselves for the day. We know what we're doing. We've limited the number of races we're going to be following. We've limited the number of bets we're going to be doing. We started putting some money on already in the morning to make us some money before the off. So this is the way in which you look at your trading day. You prepare yourself for it. And if you do prepare yourself, you're going to prepare yourself to win. Get yourself into a routine that you know for your strategy, whatever that strategy is. Go and confirm that all the criteria involved in your strategy are present. Do your research. Create a routine that helps you do your research. Find the websites that will help you do research, your resources that will help you do research, and then you will be prepared. Because if you're not prepared, we don't want to go back to our Benjamin Franklin, but if you do fail to prepare, then you're preparing to fail. Okay, good stuff. There you are, sucking eggs again, but hopefully you got something from this video. Please subscribe if you like it and you want to see some more. Like it if you like it, and comment if you don't, or if you do. Of course, I like positive comments, and but if you think that I could do something better, or you've got a different resource, or somewhere that you go that could help me, that'd be fantastic. Okay, very best of luck. See you the next time.